At any time, you could be hurt or killed or anything, because you don't know what kind of enemies these people are making.
These are the words of a schoolboy. Daniel was 13 when the grooming by drug dealers began. We've had to change his voice to protect his identity.
They pick me up around the corner from my house. They give me a lift to school, and you felt like you were important, getting out of a nice big car.
Soon they wanted something back. He'd have to carry drugs, including cocaine.
I thought it was all for free. All I had to do was go and sit in a taxi, and they drop me off. I'd get another taxi back, and then I'd get £100 at the end. Shoe boxes full of drugs I've took.
Daniel is still trying to escape this life. The police call it county lines. Children call it going country. It's a dangerous world where kids as young as 12, boys and girls, are sent hundreds of miles away from home to sell drugs in coastal resorts and leafy towns like Winchester. Drug dealers are aggressively exploiting children, targeting them because of their age and their vulnerability. An investigation by ITV News reveals that large numbers of children, like Daniel, are being systematically groomed and pushed to the front line of the UK's trade in Class A drugs. We've seen an internal Home Office document that shows, for the first time, this is now a problem gripping the whole country, and it admits that the authorities are struggling. The Home Office document describes drug dealers using children as a new type of organised crime that is unreported, and it says the number of kids involved is unrecorded. The document warns public services are not yet working together, which might be making it easier for criminal gangs to exploit vulnerable people. Our investigation suggests thousands of children are involved, and it reveals the routes children are sent to carry drugs. London gangs send to the Kent coast, Southampton and Peterborough. Birmingham gangs export west to Bristol and Taunton. Liverpool reaches as far as Essex and Exeter, and kids from Manchester end up in Grimsby and Scarborough. Documents we've seen show it's spreading. This former senior Merseyside detective is an expert in organised crime.
The business model is about increasing profits and reducing costs. And if you can use young, vulnerable people, in effect children, vulnerable children, they're easy to intimidate. You don't have to pay them very much. And if they are arrested or something happens to them, they're easily replaced. In Victorian times, you would have mills and mines that would use children in the workplace. Then some of these drug supply networks are doing exactly the same.
They prey on school children, but particularly the vulnerable, kids in care or excluded. These children go missing for days or weeks. Gangs may even rob the kids, tricking them into thinking they've lost valuable drugs, making them indebted, leaving them no choice. In one small corner of Essex, Clacton-on-Sea, there are now 19 lines running drugs into the town from all over Britain. Here, a local charity helps children caught up in it.
Once a child is in a drug ring, it's very hard to get out. You know, really, there's three ways. You can run away and hope that nobody ever finds you. You can go to prison, which is about the best bet to help you get out of it. Or unfortunately, you know, you can die because you will not be allowed out of it. And this is something that, you know, people, regular everyday people, do not understand and do not believe is happening.
Experts think that large numbers of the children that go missing every year in this country may actually have been groomed to run drugs. Here in Lewisham, the local authority believes that half of all the children it's recorded as missing are involved. The documents we've seen were circulated during Theresa May's time in office, but despite her push to end exploitation, gang leaders are grooming children. The Children's Commissioner believes this is on a par with the scandal in Rotherham.
I think as a country we've had an overdue wake-up call about child sexual exploitation and saw that very starkly in areas such as Rotherham. There are youngsters involved in gangs who are, in every other sense, being groomed into that situation and being exploited. And if we're going to protect them, then we need that same scale of mindset change about them.
The UK's drug trade has reinvented itself, expanding from inner cities to new parts of the country. Exploiting children is how it does this without detection. It's the tactics of Fagin in Oliver Twist, but it's everywhere in 21st century Britain.